Sorry, I forgot that music suddenly stops. Hi, Kira. We're on stream.
Hi, Kira. I started playing Borderlands 1.
Borderlands 1, more like Borderlands fun. I don't know, I haven't played it.
It has been fun. You get to like meet Dr. Zed right off the bat.
Oh, that's good.
So
But
it's fun.
yeah, I was gonna say that's enough for you.
That's enough for me. I don't need anything else. He's like one of the first characters you meet. Like you meet Marcus because he's on he does the narrating. He's on the
Yeah.
bus. He drives you somewhere. Then it's Claptrap because of course it's Claptrap. And then it's Dr. Zed. So, the first actual person you meet.
Very rude to Marcus.
Because Claptrap is not a person.
I mean, like, it's because Marcus is, like, he's not a character you meet, like, in actual play until later, usually.
He's
He just is
cutscene
there.
fodder.
Yeah.
Rude, very rude. Anyway, we're here. We have Crystal Cat, and we have over in this corner Cat. Look at them.
It is Cat.
It is Cat. Look at them. They're looking at you. Look at them.
Please look at them. What are you doing to my cats?
Nothing. Tea. Yeah, it's cats.
It's cats.
2019.
No.
Maybe though.
No.
But what if? So today we are drawing characters in the style of Cats 2019.
No, we're not. That's
Cosmic
not
horrors,
the challenge today.
No, today we're gonna do some more words. Gonna doodle some more wordles, but not wordles. I said that in the thing. It's not Wordle. Wordle's different. We could do Wordle words, but I always forget them as soon as I finish the game. So
I haven't done a Wordle in like months. So
I
I
didn't
don't know.
Never really done Wordle, but that's partially because I'm not really a fan of a lot of those types of games because I just really suck at spelling.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah,
and it makes sense for Chib as well, because second language and all that. I imagine I'd be absolutely awful at Dutch Wordle.
I mean, you can try. There is a Dutch Wordle.
Is there? Oh, I'm gonna try and learn a word every day.
It's the same reason why I don't really play Scrabble, because it's like the whole point is being able to put out, like, build words off of word letters that you have, and it's like, cool, I have forgotten every word.
I'm struggling to think of any 5-letter Dutch word. Brain. I'm sure I know loads, but brain.
Faced.
Faced. Yay! It's a party. Hope I got yesterday's guess the game thing. I think I got the last 2 in one go. I can't remember what they were though. Let's have a look. Yeah, I got today's. What did I get the day? But yeah, got it in one. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was an obvious one. If you played it, I suppose. Yeah, guess the game is a kind of wordly thing, but they have like 6 screenshots in a game, and you got to guess the game in 6 screenshots. And usually, I've never heard of the game before. So
I mean, there's a lot of games out there, and a lot of them you can't play anymore.
yeah.
I don't remember who did it, but someone went through, and it's like, right, so of all of the video games, barring things like piracy and/or hunting down this at some random garage sale being sold by someone who doesn't know what the heck it is, only like 13% of games are accessible in some form of another right now.
That's very appropriate given the game that it was yesterday. But yeah, there's very little sort of active support or selling of most games, so tricky. Funnily enough, it's the older ones I actually get. It's the newer ones because it's like, okay, which of the 17 million war gun shooty games is this? Is it Call of Duty? Is it Call of Duty Black Ops? Is it Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Is it the Call of Duty Modern Warfare remake, which is still called Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Is it Modern Warfare 2? Modern Warfare 3? The Modern Warfare 2 remake? You only get 6 guesses. I don't know.
Or is this one of the many one-ops that tried to jump on the Modern Warfare air train to make money and then just fell off?
Because it wasn't Call of Duty.
Yeah. Oh, actually, the last one I didn't get right was Spelunky 2, but that's because I didn't know there was a sequel to Spelunky. Seems reasonable. Hi, Miss Silas.
Hi, Miss. Hi, Lewis.
So many calls to duty. Right,
Yeah, there's
should
a
we
lot
do
of Call of Duties. You'd think after a while you'd just hang up the phone.
it? No, it's your duty.
They're like military guys. They don't hang up the phone. They're weird about it.
I mean, my dad's retired Navy and he rarely answers the phone, so.
The problem is that
Yeah, but the key there is retired.
yeah, exactly. You're allowed to now. The problem with the military types is that they end their calls with over and out. And over means it's your turn to speak now, and out means I'm leaving. So one person in the call is always left speaking when the other person's gone.
Anyway,
Terrible.
words.
So you've got to be the first one to say over and out before the other person does, otherwise you're stuck there forever.
hmm
Yeah.
That's how that works. You cannot like hang up a call that nobody else is on. That's not how that works.
Exactly.
They only get one call. It's all just been one call
Yeah.
for
If they
hundreds
get
of years.
they pay by the phone call, so they've just had this one long chain of phone calls going on. So far, they've paid a shilling. Hi, Linus. Hurry, hi, hello, hurry,
Hi.
hurry. You said
Hello.
you made a sleepy face. That's a hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Sleeping.
please.
Don't worry,
Sleep.
miss, you're not the only one here who's feeling very tired.
Yeah. These streams are just generally sleepy stream.
I mean, it's the end of the week, the beginning of a new one. That's always when you're like allowed to be tired.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always allowed to be tired, in my
No,
opinion. But you know.
no. If you're tired on a Tuesday, you're gonna get fired into the sun. Bit extreme. Don't know where that came from.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Guess now we know what Chris thinks about Tuesdays.
They're work days. No. Still have the word wheel. Word wheel. Give word. Who's going first?
Yeah, give us words if you want, miss.
Give wide. Tell you what, get 2 words and then give it to the person who you think you want to draw those words.
Yeah,
That way we don't have to decide.
yeah, you
And
decide everything.
and only
Miss is in
tired
charge
miss
of
has
these
to.
streams.
This is a miss stream. We know this. Large turtle. Who wants to draw a large turtle?
Large turtle.
Very large turtle.
Getting Discworld vibes.
I mean, that is a large turtle.
Yeah, with some like elephants standing on it involved in there. Now the question is, who's drawing large turtle?
I mean, you could just like
That is a very large turtle. Do I need to like keep the kitty there for a special
It's for scale,
effect?
yeah.
Good lord.
There you go, large turtle. Next, no, this is yeah, I don't know. I'll just do Discworld,
It's,
like,
it's, it's a polar bear eating a snow cone in a snowstorm.
yeah, making a snowman, but they forgot the carrot.
Yeah, my little cat was there for skill. Very important.
They're always there.
They're always watching.
Subliminal turtle.
Hard for them to make out details on account of the fact that they're so large in comparison. But they are watching.
Now, I'm also thinking about. Okay, I'll do it. I'm
Yeah.
also thinking about that lizard thing, dinosaur.
Oh
What I
yeah,
posted
the one that
before.
eats potatoes.
Yeah. The little potato lizard that has like a big ol' body and a tiny little
Yeah,
head. So
tiny little face.
that's what I'm sort of thinking of now. Them be Lorg.
Can be lord.
Do turtles have tails? I don't really know much about turtles.
Yes, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about turtles.
Do you know?
No.
Now here's the question: is this actually a large turtle, or is this several small turtles in a big shell?
I mean, based on like the uh, flippers you gave it, um,
Yeah, they're pretty big.
it's probably one large turtle. That, or it's two turtles, and it's just like the big one has like put his head in, and then there's a small turtle right in front of him. That's just peeking its head out.
Yeah, this turtle's completely unrelated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like
They're just visiting each other's houses.
Yeah, like that, exactly.
It's a sleepover for turtles.
I want them to look chill. How do you make a turtle look chill?
I mean, they don't do much.
Most turtles are pretty chill.
It's one of the first doodles I've done on these streams with a cutaway. That's kind of good to see inside. Is there anything else interesting happening inside?
Um,
That's a pretty. That turtle's able to pull their head pretty far back.
yeah, don't worry about it. It's normal.
Well, okay, here's another cutaway. All questions will be answered in cutaway,
Mm-hmm.
which is that their neck is just sort of like.
And also, it's
Bunched
pretty
up like
long
that.
back.
It's a very long neck.
I'd say that's not how turtle spines work, but I don't think that really matters for the sake of this picture.
No.
That's the spine of the log turtle.
Because with a turtle, literally, like, all of this is spine. And in fact, I learned the other day that the turtle's shell is technically a modified rib cage.
Ooh.
What's for the purpose of this drawing? Is there a person?
Oh, that's a turtle.
That's not a turtle. binoculars?
Yes. All of this is spying.
Oh.
The turtle's so large, it's got other turtles inside of it.
This is the Trojan turtle.
Trojan turtle.
Well, now I'm just imagining, like, so the Statue of Liberty is person-shaped, but you can walk in it as a person. And these days, you can't go all the way up to the torch because they've got it closed off. But you can come up to the crown in her head, or on her head. And there's a bunch of windows there that you can look out. Well, now that you've added the one down there, this is more like a turtle apartment complex inside of a turtle.
I said
And
there would be
yet, there's
cutaways.
also still a turtle in there.
They're doing alright. They're like all bunched up. That's that leg.
Mm-hmm.
Having a good time, right? I like the idea that this is like, you know, Trojan turtle, but the the turtle at the front's like, I'm just a normal turtle. This is fine. Let me in, please. Also, I don't know why you look like that, but you do.
Why would he not look like that?
Because they have the mouths that sort of go like that, don't they? Sort of difficult to draw from the front.
Look at that happy little boy.
Now I've just drawn a snake. It's fine. You're back, miss. You haven't missed much. Just an ordinary big turtle. Nothing suspicious going on.
Just ordinary big turtle. Turtle and Buster. No, it's a normal turtle.
It's a normal turtle. It just wants to it wants to get into Troy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into Troy.
This is the opposite of what you think. Trojan meaning belonging to Troy. I guess it did. It was a present, so.
Yeah. They gave it to them, so now it's theirs.
Oh, does that mean that was technically a civil war then? If it's now Trojan, then the soldiers inside are Trojan, so that's a civil war.
No, the horse became Trojan. The soldiers were not part of the gift.
Oh, they should have gone out.
One could
That's
even
rude.
argue that the soldiers were the opposite of a gift.
Yeah. Pretty much famously the opposite of a gift. They did not want the soldiers there.
Anyway, who's excited for Turtle Christmas?
Turtle Christmas?
Turtle Christmas. So the best part of Turtle Christmas is the build-up where you have your Turtle Advent calendar.
We celebrate
peel
the
off
birthday of Jesus Turtle?
Turtle Christ.
Turtle cries.
I can't think of any more Christianity turtle puns. I mean, that wasn't even really a pun, to be honest, but
No, that was just mashing two words together.
it was rather, wasn't it? This one's more serious turtle.
I mean, he's allowed to be more serious. He is gonna fight for the Greeks, Ionians, and Greek. We'll keep it simple and say Greek.
Oh, I know the difference is Greeks go on land, Ionians are in water. That's the difference.
Yeah, it was like different. They gathered a whole bunch of people. We'll just keep it as Greeks.
I mean, technically, at that point in time, just saying the Greeks is you're now putting a whole bunch of countries together, technically, who
Yeah,
are not necessarily friends.
no. I'm keeping it simple and saying Greeks because that's the most used term, but it's not actually Greeks because it's a whole bunch of different peoples and the kings and peoples and I don't know, but we're like 12 kings involved already, so you're not gonna like name them all at that point in time.
Yeah, that's reasonable. It's like talking about Britain post-Roman occupation. They've got like 5 or
Yeah.
6 different kings of different parts of it.
Yeah, if they go to war, you're not gonna like name them all individually. You're just gonna say Britain went to war.
Honestly, this is looking more like this. We have a large turtle shell, and then like Nessie has taken over an abandoned turtle shell with a bunch of turtle friends.
That's probably what happened. I love Mom.
Turtle butt.
Brian Cox was in charge of them all.
What?
Mhm.
Professor Brian Cox. This doesn't deserve shading.
And yet, here you are.
You just put shading across the entire thing.
Oh, it's underwater. I thought for a second, like, why is it snowing? Why did you put this? Put
It's snowing air
turtle in the
bubbles.
snow.
There you go. Lorg turtle. May or may not
Or
be several
turtle.
turtles in a trench shell.
Yeah.
Somebody draw something good. Quick, before I'm forced to change the art tag on this stream.
It's still hard, baby.
It elicits a reaction. That reaction just happens to be, what the fuck is this?
Exactly.
God, if the definition of art is that it elicits a reaction, then should probably close down half of the museums I've ever gone to. Stared at so much modern art and gone, this does nothing. This does nothing in my brain.
Mm.
But that's just me.
I mean, for some modern art, I'm like, because I've seen like little videos on YouTube like of people like making what we would consider modern art. I'm just like, it's cool watching it being made. But if like someone put it on the wall, I'd look at it and think just like whatever. Because there's this uh ballerina who basically does art through like putting paint on like the tips of her like ballet shoes and doing like entire ballets with the paint and like basically like making a portrait or not a portrait, a painting through like that through her just dancing on like a canvas.
That's plotting a graph. That's not. That's plotting a graph of a dance. That's data collection.
That's it's really cool to watch, but like if you just look at it, I'd be like, "Yep, that's just splotches of
All
paint
the
on a
drawers are
canvas."
locked.
Yeah, there are some art pieces where it's more of a performance
Yeah.
art, and you just have sort of what's left over.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
but
that
like,
one to me feels like the performance part of it is part of the art, and then it's like, oh, here's the result of the performance, and that's sort of interesting. But if all you have is the final result, it's like, okay, it's splotches, cool.
yeah, like it's like going, okay, we're gonna go see a parade, and
But
then
there's a lot
you
of
go to an
pieces out
empty
there
street.
where like, yeah, all you see left is the confetti that was left on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, no, that sounds more fun. If I go to an empty street full of confetti, that sounds like a great time. Hi, Dark Aiden.
But yeah,
How's
there's a
Remedy?
lot of pieces out there where by itself it's just kind of like, I don't know what this is, but once you get a bit of context, it now becomes interesting. Because to me, as someone who does know a bit of dance, not ballet, but a bit of dance, looking at the results of the painting of like, oh, here's where your foot landed, here's where sort of arcs of movement happened, that can be sort of interesting. But if all you see is the leftover ground tarp afterwards, it's like, okay, this is, if you had just shown me that cloth on the ground without the context of each of these points was made by her touching her foot down through a dance routine, I would have just assumed that that was a drop cloth that someone put underneath their canvas to make sure that their carpet didn't get fucked up. Which those can sometimes be interesting in and of themselves as well.
This is
But
the thing. Is like
this is now a different context.
a lot of modern art is what like is getting to the point where I actually get more out of the serendipitous things that you just find in life on the floor. Like that's more interesting than the thing someone deliberately made for art. But that, again, it's a matter of perspective. I'm not gonna. If people enjoy things, they enjoy things.
Yeah. Also, let's give us more words
Voids,
before Chris renders the entire ocean.
stop me.
Yeah, stop him before he just makes all like the entire water flow.
Monstrous fruit.
Put
Boom.
get some fluid dynamics going on in here.
Oh no, that's
Monstrous.
I'm not. That's not discrete maths. Don't worry about
Do you
that.
want monstrous fruit, Ragdoll? Or should I go?
I mean, if you have an idea, you can go for it. My
I have
brain is still sort
no
of
ideas. So,
no idea.
You think I had ideas for
Not
that?
fluid dynamics, please.
but
Done
I
enough of
can.
that. Yeah.
I haven't
I have
bloody.
no ideas, but I can go. I'll just fucking make something up.
Hey.
You can just make an apple with teeth and then call it good.
I mean, I can make monsters. I've made monsters before.
Have you?
Yeah,
Really?
you keep giving them abs.
You keep making them sexy.
Not all of them.
Tids and abs
Not
and heels and.
fine. I'll make this one really monstrous. Fuck you.
Oh, this prompt is now making me want to play Dragon Warrior Monsters because there is a monster class in that game which is essentially just like an apple with teeth in him. I think it's literally called a bad apple in one of the English translations, where it's just a demonic apple.
That's fair. Teeths. Wow. Good teeths. I'm trying to think if there was any fruit monsters in Final Fantasy. Off the top of my head, no.
Yeah,
Aside,
I remembered the name correctly. Bad apple.
bad apple. Yeah. Now, is that a second small mouth on the top, or?
It's got an eyeball.
Well, you can't prove that. Might just have a small, hard-boiled egg.
And it hasn't appeared in a lot of games, only the early like Dragon Quest monster games, and then
Oh yeah.
like 2 of the mainline games. But I think it's neat.
Is it? Honestly, not dissimilar to what's being drawn. Great minds and all that. This is me 5 minutes after the dentist told me to hold my mouth open and hasn't told me to close it yet.
As they try to talk to you about how your year has been going.
This is
Oh, more
Grandma
teeth.
Smith.
Teeth all the way down.
Is that teeth or is that just contouring? It's left to your imagination. That's an apple
Hold
full
on
of.
just a second. I will be right back.
Well, that's lovely, Kira. See, I wrote the thing White Coats ages ago, which was a sort of comedy lab thing, and I was just had time coming up with just lots of weird experiments. And so the one I came up with, I just went, okay, what have we got? A is for apple. Let's come up with an experimental apple. Okay, non-Newtonian apple. It falls up. Boom, done. Simple. And I feel like that's the sort of the opposite creative process to the Magnus Archives. I don't know, how can I make a weird apple that's silly rather than full of teeth? Oh, hello, it's got legs.
I've decided legs.
Legs. That is a good decision. Hurrah, Doc. Apparently, the Remnant people are learning game design.
What?
I know.
In my remnant?
Well,
I mean, not
evidently
in my
not.
remnant.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's more likely than you'd think.
It's less likely than you'd think.
Let me in.
Release a patch. Let Chi play the game. Have they released a patch yet?
These things hunt doctors. Yeah, this gives a whole new meaning to an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Let you play. Why is Steam so awkward to navigate? I've tried to find this page several times today, and I still don't know where to be looking for it.
People, please know the friendly fire is even worse in this one. You love my
Yay!
friendly fire.
Okay, no update.
It's friendly.
It's friendly.
Yay.
Listen, I promise I will try not to. As I always promise.
Promise I will try to avoid general circumstances under which friendly fire may happen. Potentially.
Yeah, we'll change it to friendly ice instead.
Yeah. I'm liking these stumpy legs. Don't stomp. Yeah, people should just stop getting in the way of the attacks. Rude, really. You would have hit that enemy otherwise. Terrible. So this is why I like being the sniper. Stay back. Can't prove I hit you. That was the enemy you didn't see. To the side of you. I took care of them, don't worry.
Is that why I kept dying last time?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no updates. Oh, a lot of friends play games. Boo. Eat an apple.
It is.
Now, whenever you have a thing like an apple with a mouth, I always think, where's the mouth going? And the way it looks is it looks like it's going into the legs.
It's
I
going
mean,
further
if you want
inside
to
the
find
apple.
out, you're welcome to go in there.
Yeah.
I will not be following you.
You listen, Chris. For science, you can find out.
For science. Oh, this has banned us from Vor. You're no fun anymore. I was going to say any Vor, but that's too obvious. Oh, it's hairy.
What you want from apples, right?
They're peaches. Not apples necessarily.
Not too bad. This is an apple.
I mean, yeah.
Cheeb, if you're not careful, this is going to look like something very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's the wrong way up, so we're fine.
I'm also like done.
What? You haven't shaded it yet?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the back of the mouth.
But that is the correct answer. There we go. Monstrous fruit. Was that the prompt?
Yeah, I think so.
Monstrous moot. Yes. E. Oh, Ragdoll, you have electric dragon.
Oh, fun.
Cool, that's spelling dragged on, didn't it?
Or dragoon.
Or dragoon. Oh, Dragon.
I mean, if it's electric dragoon, that just tells me that the dragoon has electrocuted themselves and is now dead on the floor as usual.
Yeah, so depends on which one you want to draw.
So Dragoon
Let's
from Final
see.
Fantasy, they tried to use jump, but they went up into some electric cables.
And then just expired.
Imagine Nox just jumping off out of frame and then coming down as like roast rat.
Oh no. I don't want to imagine that.
Let's see.
Oh yay, we're getting different worlds because it's random, so that's fun.
Yeah. So how does multiplayer work?
I mean, we're in a game together, but like the starting world is random, unlike First Remnant, where you do always start in the city. I think that's what Stark is saying.
Oh, we're talking about after the tutorial, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I assume so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played the game.
I finished the tutorial. I got sent to a planet and then I stopped. So I haven't
Yeah.
really. So I'm guessing the planet I got sent to was probably different from the one Dark got. That's kind of neat.
Hope we get legally distinct Yarnum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, that says distinct. For some reason, my brain read that as legal district Yarnum, and it's like, why would you be interested in the legal district of Yarnum? Like, why do they have a legal district?
Yes, I'm an old blood attorney. Mikalash and Co. Yay!
I take care from like like parental guardianship. Make sure that's all sorted out.
Yeah. Now they are legally vacuous. As a consequence, they must be accompanied by their spider guardians at all times.
Hmm. Exactly.
Killed all judges and lawyers. That's Dark Souls 3. That's Udex Gundyr and the what I call him, the Justicia, but I'm not sure that's correct. What are they called? Difficult to Google something when you don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Even more difficult these days where Google will just give you nonsense.
Yeah. Judicator, that's the word.
Judicator.
Judicator.
Judge Judy.
Yes, the famous Dark Souls 3 boss, Judge Judy.
Exactly.
I mean, someone could make a mod.
Careful, she causes bleed with her cutting remarks. Yeah, there's a lightning bolt. This feels like a counterpart of the thing you drew last time. The clown horse.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that one was drawn for the bit, and this one was more like, okay, let's see.
Clown horse. I mean, it's not too late to still make it a clown.
I think it is. I think it's too late. I think we can all agree it's too late. Yeah, can we? Yeah, please.
It's never too late to make something a clown. That's my hard stance.
I mean, you're right, but also.
So just tried to think of the most inappropriate place that sentence could be said. No, like a morgue. Getting them ready for the wake. It's never too late to make up a clown.
I mean,
Listen.
you do have to put on a lot of makeup layers if you've got an open casket.
Yeah.
And there are some cases where it's just kind of like there's no way makeup is going to be able to make this not a horrifying visage.
Yeah. Listen, anyone at this stream is allowed to come to my funeral and just put a red clown nose on me. I think that's fair.
So you can honk in the afterlife.
So I can honk in the afterlife. And be the haunted clown I was always meant to be. Ghost honk,
Yeah. So you
exactly.
just in the middle of the night, you'll be sleeping, you wake up and it's what's that noise? There's just ghostly honking in the distance.
Yeah. You're allowed to do that, but I will haunt you.
Honk want.
Just while you're doing, I assume, like, you're still, like, doing your thing and just, like, suddenly honk. From nowhere.
There's like an echo to it. Honk, 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 honk.
Just for the rest of your remaining life.
And afterlife, presumably.
And afterlife, yeah.
But you see, in the afterlife, they get to honk at you in person.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference. Then you can see me honk at you. And if you allowed someone else to put a red nose on you, you can honk back as well.
See,
I think it's a great deal, personally.
I'm thinking of the BBC's Ghosts sitcom, and some of the ghosts in that have generally they can't interact with the living, but some of them, usually due to the way they died, can interact in some way. So, for example, one of them got struck by lightning, and they can mess around with electricity as a consequence. So I am just imagining now, like, you know, there is a clown ghost. Their only way they can interact with the world is with honk. Then again, it's the way they died. So, did the nose kill them?
It's a clown-related accident, okay?
Yeah.
You don't ask questions like that to clowns.
First rule of the circus: you don't ask questions like that. You don't want to know the answers.
You don't want to know the answer. They died and they're still a clown. Do you really want to know? You died acting like a goddamn clown again. Yeah. Too much clowning around. See, they get it.
Turns out it wasn't a red nose. It was actually Jeeb's apple biting on the nose.
And you know, the apple kept the doctor away, so it was a lethal incident.
Exactly.
And I perished, and then someone put a clown nose on me.
Yeah, never have an accident while holding an apple, because the doctor will not be able to attend.
Yeah. It's really tragic.
There's a TTRPG with a monster that does exactly that. I'm going to choose to assume that it was the RPG you were talking about the other day, where you're anthropomorphic animals organising a picnic. Gonna assume it's apple.
Now, when you say does just that, do you mean keeping the doctor away or turning you into a clown?
Yeah, I was like wondering what part of the story you were
I was
referring
assuming the apple bite in the nose, to be honest, but could be many things. It doesn't matter.
It could be many things, but it doesn't.
Clown nose parasite. See, yeah, there we go. It drains the pallor from your face, and so your face goes all white. You can make it work. How dare you? Very rude.
You said it, not I.
I didn't say it. Bloody Final Fantasy VIII said it.
Yeah, you repeated it.
And it became a meme
Incredulously.
for them the rest of the draw through.
You kept it on screen for an
I
entire
did.
draw through.
Because I knew it would be coming up. I was like, this is gonna come up.
Yeah, and you kept referring back to it.
Because it was just because I did my reminder playthrough beforehand, just to go through it all again, make sure I didn't miss anything. And that line came up, and I just stopped playing for a bit, just looking at the screen, like,
That's fair.
because I was genuinely trying to understand what was going on, and then that sentence came up, and I'm like, why am I bothering?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would have had several moments like playing through that just like giving up. I had several moments of that during the draw through, just like, what what is going on? I'm getting mad. Fucking everything. I will never get over the monsters on the moon. Fucking dude.
Is it better or worse that this is not that 8 was not the first Final Fantasy to have fuckery going on the moon?
The thing I was about to say, it makes more sense if you realize that moon shenanigans are a recurring theme, but it doesn't make sense if you're just playing the game. You know what I mean?
I am fine with moon shenanigans. The moon shenanigans aren't a problem. It's just that it had zero relevance. It was just there's monsters on the moon and we're gonna go there, I guess. I... Oh my god, it's clowns.
I'm gonna clip that.
What?
Just the way you said that is so genuine.
Oh my god. That's great.
Are you still lost in 4, Kira? Still excited to see Jib play Snake Eater. Yeah.
I am. The more you say that, the less excited I get.
That's the best one. It's also the least nuts. It's pretty nuts.
Liz,
Uh,
you guys were talking about it, and I was so lost.
Not gonna
I
clear that
was
one up.
so fucking lost during that entire conversation. There kept being like more games being like thrown out there, and more snakes.
Yeah.
And more like this, but it's actually not the first because the first is this one, but it's not this, and blah 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 blah. And it was just like, what are you fucking talking about?
Trying to explain the Metal Gear Solid series is, the Metal Gear series is.
Like, I barely remember what happened during the draw through, so it's just like zero context basically.
Very little of it matters for any other game, to be honest. Mostly, if you remember, like, jeans, brother, you're pretty sorted. You
Also
had the
just
recessive genes. No, I had whatever.
someone had pasta genes. That's
You
all
had the
that
rigatoni while I was stuck with lasagna. Something like that.
I think that's it. And then King Vader showed up.
He was just hungry.
Yeah. He just wanted some pasta, you know?
And for anybody who didn't watch the draw through, you're even more confused than Cheap.
Also, looking at that RPG thing, it just really makes me wanna, like, run an RPG as a DM again. Even though we didn't finish this one, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen at this point. But
It was a good time.
yeah, but I do wanna do it, like, try and run something again. But,
Do things.
wanna do things with friends.
Things with friends.
Well, that middle leg, I've just entirely fucked up the foot and have no idea
I
how to fix it. But
It's blurry because of lightning.
we'll go with that.
But you'll beat the shit out of a clown. I don't know if I have like a circus RPG that I can just pull out. I can make something up probably.
I mean, given your enthusiasm for seeing clowns,
We're not making this a part of my personality, okay?
I'm gonna clip that response and I'm gonna make that the last piece on our soundboard in this Discord.
No, don't. I don't want Dark to be able to use that anywhere. It will haunt me.
Hey, look at the electric dragoon.
Yeah. Electric Dragoon.
This is how you do it, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Flying around and causing thunderstorms.
Hell yeah.
Yay. Right, I was told words were generated for me in advance and that they were awful. So let's go.
Let's go.
Yep. Abstract acrobat. Me complaining about modern art. You did this deliberately. Right.
Let's see. How are we going to make this abstract?
I mean, by making it a simplified icon like the Adobe Acrobat icon. No. If I had access to all my normal tools, I'd
But
just
you
go for a
don't.
sort of abstract, sort of. I never know what to call it. I always think of it as Russian, but I'm not certain. There's very sort of solid lines emanating from circles, and I know what I'm thinking, which is bad because I'm trying to explain it. It knew I was drawing, and it hates me. Okay. Let's.
Yeah, the wheel always knows.
Oh, we're back on noses again, are we?
Knows.
That's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Canals.
Knows. Cows?
No, canals built for factories in the Industrial Revolution. Uh,
Now the question becomes, how are we going to, or how are you going to get the abstract and the acrobat part in here?
just trying to do something vaguely implying acrobatics through abstract shapes. Trying to actually embrace my modern artist.
Implied acrobatics.
Yeah, I took a course on that at university.
I mean, you could have just thrown in abstract algebra concepts in the shape of an acrobat.
Yeah.
And
That would be
there
easier?
would be exactly 2 people here who would get that joke.
You're swinging on an integral? What do you want me to make?
Well, actually, no, I take that back. There's a couple more of us who might sort of get the joke, if only because of that one video of
Oh,
the
yeah.
math fight thing.
Just, like, have, like, the shape of an acrobat and fill it with chicken, 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 chicken. I think that's pretty abstract.
Still the best presentation I've seen.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
nah,
Mm.
nah,
Mm.
not really.
Mm.
Uh,
Of course, then the other problem becomes acrobats can get their bodies into some really weird shapes,
Yeah.
just in general. Like, if you've ever seen, like, pictures taken, just random pictures taken of people doing acrobatics and not just, like, still frames of them just pausing for the camera,
Oh, yeah.
you just kind of sit there and go, I didn't know arms could do that.
Yeah, with, like, acrobats or, like, gymnastics people or, like, anything like that. It's just you take, like, a picture of them in motion, and it's just like, how? How the fuck? Like, it's always, like, the case of, like, if I actually drew this, people would think there was something wrong with my art.
Yeah, it's very much a have you studied anatomy? Have you?
Yeah, exactly.
And I know part of it is because that whenever you're doing things like gymnastics or aerobics, you are purposely training your body to be more flexible. So the answer is no, I couldn't bend my body in that way. But the fact that you're able to get a body to bend that way without literally breaking limbs off.
Mhm. Without, like, limbs snapping in half. Yeah, it's it always feels so weird, and then like your art brain tries to like make it more logical, and that's not how it works. Like in that case, it's always like either it looks wrong because you did it right and you drew it like it's in the picture, but it looks wrong because it looks like that, or it looks wrong because you tried to logic it and now it just isn't right anymore. Those are the two options I always land on.
I go for option 3, which is reality's wrong. I'm right.
Yeah, I try not to go there.
Eat a sandwich.
I mean, eating a sandwich is nice.
The Bill Bailey thing, isn't it? Just and every now and get it existential. I need to make a Pringle sandwich. Take the Pringles, put the between the slice of bread, the curvature of the Pringle, crush between the level slices of bread. Crush, crush, crush. Yum, 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 yum. Existentialism gone. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple. And that's why
Okay,
you make abstract art. Ooh,
I
Lewis
mean, I
has
have
little
seen
guys.
and eaten sandwiches with potato chips in them, but is this implying you only have potato chips in the sandwich here?
And you usually have something else. It just gives the
Okay.
texture, you know? You usually have like cheese or something. Filling of choice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that, but you know.
Sorry. I mean, we already have heathen bread, so
Yeah, exactly.
probably shouldn't be surprised by these things.
I mean, it's not a thing you would do with any sandwich, but if you've got a sandwich where it's just kind of like lunch meat, cheese, maybe some lettuce, yeah, put some potato chips on there for a bit of salty crunch.
Yeah. As
I've
long
also
as the
known at least one
bread
person
is
who would put it
better.
on tuna fish sandwiches.
As long as it's proper bread.
Yeah. Listen, you can put whatever you want on your sandwich. I won't judge. We do some weird stuff on our sandwiches, but like
You,
the
you
bread,
mean like the
man.
cookies?
Yeah, exactly. That's fine and normal. Um. So yeah, I get that. The bread is just something I cannot get over.
And it wasn't that big.
How dare you? Your jokes have been really bad this stream.
Good, good. One form.
Hey, Chris, this looks like something someone would design as the logo for one of the Olympic sports.
I was gonna say it's borderline like, you know, I could sell this for several £1 million. That's
Yeah.
not quite
You
what I
could
was
sell
aiming
this
for.
to the Olympics, like render it in like, colorful shades and just sell it to the Olympics for their
Which is weird because I was going for like oppressive Soviet sort of feel.
one new conspiracy theory unlocked.
But yeah, like I say, if I was doing this in Clip Studio, there'd be block colors and paper textures and all that sort of stuff. But you know, limitations of Aggie
Yeah.
and limitations of time. I did a similar thing to this when I did Kira
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I remember.
I was quite pleased with how that one came out.
Yeah.
And Junior, of course.
And never forget about Junior.
It is bordering on what was the design? The hang on, I got it written down because it's in the randomizer for this year. Oh, speaking of which, let me know if you have any characters you want me to do for October this year, because I'll be generating them soon.
Yay.
Well, as usual, you guys have blanket permission to use any character you know of mine for any of these fun little challenge things. And actually, I've been sort of... there's a D&D character I had in high school who, on one hand, was sort of near and dear to my heart, but that was 15 years ago, so I have forgotten her name.
Classic.
Yeah.
But it's one of
Mood
those things
though.
of like, oh, kind of want to try and pull her out and like give her some proper story stuff and maybe get someone to draw art of her, but also I only vaguely remember some of the things that happened and her general character, and also she's a goblin, but she's a goblin in a D&D campaign that was like steampunky
That
thing.
sounds
So
cool as hell.
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
You say,
And she was...
say steampunk goblin as if that's a bad thing. Like,
Yeah, but it does mean that you've got the thing of like, right, so I know people who are like Miss, who's like, oh yeah, goblins, fantasy stuff. And it's like, yes, but this is a goblin fantasy thing who has a junk bazooka.
Rad as hell.
again, you're the no issues.
No. I will draw that for you. Sounds
Okay.
fucking rad.
I guess I'm collecting bits and pieces that I remember and sending them down your way on your commission thing.
Yay.
I was able to finally find the campaign book, or at least the campaign world that was used with it, because this wasn't a thing that the DM just like made up himself on account of the fact that he was also a high schooler and only had so much time. And I found it so I can look up stuff for the aesthetics with that. It was a sort of strange campaign on account of the fact that my junk bazooka goblin was the only one with any ranks in healing.
The healing bazooka. Fire
Healing
potions
bazooka.
directly into people's mouths.
Yeah.
That's a very goblin thing. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
She had a tendency to just like literally take things off of walls that are shiny and might be interesting and try to befriend an enemy mech, and it almost worked.
Hell yeah.
It worked long enough for us to get out of the way before things started exploding.
Hell yeah.
And she was very upset when it was one of the things that ended up exploding.
Oh.
Oh, Chris, Lewis is asking if he can throw big murder night mech into the melting pot for October.
Big murder night mech. If you don't mind them possibly being a Peppa Pig character, go ahead.
I mean, that's always the risk, you know?
I mean, look, sometimes your randomizer comes up with combinations that are just very good. Sometimes for this is epic reasons, and then sometimes for this is epic stupid reasons.
I see no difference between these two pictures.
For Peppa, we fight.
But yeah, chuck me references and things. Let me know.
You did.
Yeah, I've got a big old list. I'll try and make sure that it's sort of evenly distributed over everybody, so everyone gets characters in there. Spending way too long on this thing that I had no confidence in at all.
You have to have shading for every single picture this stream.
I mean, this one isn't even shading. This is just more blocks.
More blocks.
What if more blocks?
Grumble at the randomizer. You don't get to grumble at the randomizer. You don't know what Pride's gonna get this year.
I mean,
Look,
that was one of the
pre-ad-
ones that sort of falls into the this is epic, but also it's epic because it is so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I did try on the first year to do Dishonored, but I got 2 characters made of cloth and rope, so it was kind of difficult. So I do have Dishonored, but properly this time in the randomizer. It might be that. You might actually just get a proper in-universe portrait of Priad and Fritz. It's possible.
Play as Cats 2019
All
calling
Cats
it now.
2019. That is also a possibility.
Is it seriously also in the randomizer?
Oh yeah, that was one of the first things I put in. It's gonna be the Outliers, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, Abstract Acrobat.
You did it.
There you go.
That's
Hopefully,
great.
it makes sense.
It makes sense. I can see it.
Do you know what else you can see?
A blank canvas.
And they can see you. There we go. Bit corporate Memphis, but there we go. Chibi.
Yeah.
And now we have cheap.
D.
What do I get? Shoe Knights.
Shoe Knight. Oh, I love it already.
There are many
Oh,
directions that this could
yeah.
go.
many directions.
And all of them are funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it cute.
Now the question is this shoes as in human shoes, or is this shoes as in horseshoes?
Interesting.
I mean, the answer could also be both.
For now, the answer is human shoes. Or rough approximation of a human shoe.
Yeah, now you get to draw feet shapes. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Hooray! Was Night Shoe, but Shoe Knight was better. You were correct. This knight has a lot of soul. Ha Tough as old boot.
We've been talking about goblins.
Oh, so with that, okay, so my dad
Pal.
is from the Southwest, so he's got
I could make a
some
call. Could just like
Southwest fashion, including cowboy boots and like hat type thing. But also he's very large. Like not even really just tall, just like all around large. But as a little kid, I would play pretend, like wearing his big cowboy boots and hat, stomping around, despite the fact that his shoes went all the way up to my torso.
Aw. Yeah. I guess no new character for this one. I'm just gonna be drawing Pal.
Yeah, just draw Pal. This is also on laundry day.
What doesn't have to go into the laundry? Shoes.
Shoes.
Because you don't generally put those in the washing machine. Though apparently there are some people who put like soccer cleats in the washing machine to the point where in my undergrad they had signs in the laundry room going, "Do not do this."
Does seem a little silly. Bunny slippers don't need to be washed.
Now, to me, assuming it's like a fully cloth slipper, that I can almost see as a, yeah, we can put this in the washing machine to like clean it off, but like cleats are hard.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what a soft cleat would be called, so I tried to combine words, and I went with squishy, so we ended with squeet. I don't know whether I like that or hate it.
Like that. I don't like it. Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, let's not have squeets. You always know it's a good time when I start a sentence with, so my brain tried to combine two words.
And then immediately we all decided no. As we should.
Yes, rightly so.
Squeet.
Well, Hazel can pronounce that properly.
Like this face.
I'm sure we're all
Oh
pleased
no.
about it.
Why don't I like this face?
No, don't say that to pal.
I'm sorry. Don't like the way I've drawn their face.
Being rude to
This
pal, right
time.
to their horrible face.
Well, that's not what I said. That's what you said.
Can't blame me for repeating things you said.
I can and I will. There's something just weird about it. I'll figure it out.
Delete your
This
ass.
took like 70 hours on his one. I can take some time to make this face actually good.
I will delete that one. I've been trying to find a picture of. In Britain, we have something called the Monster Raving Loony Party, which is just a silly parliamentary party. People go up for election with stupid costumes, just being silly. I don't get in, obviously, but it's a bit of fun. And I seem to remember one year somebody had a very long beard and a Wellington boot on their head. I was going to try and share that, but I can't find it. Boo.
You know, I'm pretty sure here in the United States we have a gentleman who quote unquote runs for presidency pretty much every election who wears a boot on his head as well.
Oh, nice.
I'm wondering, like, is that something that an idea he got from your ridiculousness, or is the ridiculousness you described something where they went, oh, here's this guy with a boot on his head, I'll do the ridiculous bit by putting a boot on my head?
I don't know. I think the Monster Raving Loony Party's been going for like 50 years or so. Probably longer. There's probably things like that, like mainland Europe for 200 years or whatever. I don't know. I don't know European history.
I mean, I don't know either, but also I didn't know about the Looney Party at all. I just know we have a gentleman where, and as far as I'm aware, it's literally just the same guy each year, just runs for election and he's wearing a boot on his head. I don't know how long he's been doing it.
Well, I guess we also incumbent are Lord Buckethead and Count Binface. They also ran for Parliament. Clues in the name as to what they look like.
I imagine at least one of them has a bucket for a face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can share this.
I'm struggling.
I mean, usually in
Oh.
these streams we just doodle whatever. You're now trying to draw a character that you've drawn several times.
Yeah,
several dozen times.
that was my mistake, honestly. It's fine. I can draw Pal. I've drawn Pal from before. I can do it.
It looks good.
I don't like it.
Yeah, found the gentleman.
Sorry.
Did not realize how big I made that bit.
It's a big boot.
Been
Pal's
zoomed
only
in this
little.
entire time. I mean, they're a goblin, and it's clearly someone else's boot. It's not their boot.
Also, my cat stopped updating there. It's back now. Vermin Love Supreme. Look at him. This might have been the person I was thinking about, actually. I just did.
What did you say? Vermin Lord Supreme?
Vermin Lord Supreme has a Wellington Booten on his head.
Why does that sound like a Dark Souls boss now?
That's right. We're going to fight them in. They're part of knockoff Yarnum in Remnant.
But yeah, he's run for various local and national elections since like the 80s, I think. He's been doing this for a while. I don't think he ever really gets any positions, but I think he mostly uses this stuff as an activism type thing.
Yeah.
And performance art, because it's like everyone notices you, everyone remembers the guy with the boot on his head.
Not Vermin Lord Scree, Vermin Love Supreme. Which is like, yeah, it's sort of like, you could pluck out any of those three words and you would either get a Dark Souls boss, a page on DeviantArt, or a Motown song. It's a versatile name.
I don't even know if that's his actual name. For all I know, that's just his stage name, essentially. But
well,
that's what he's. I mean, it could be his actual name. I don't know.
Best how day.
What?
This is finding combinations of quotes to bully me.
Oh, how sad.
Apparently, at some point, I was quoted as saying both people are allowed to have fun making things, and also you don't have to be good at something to enjoy it.
And you
Frankly
don't stand by
rude.
those things?
Frankly rude that you would bring both of those things up together. When I'm busy here, mocking the things I'm making.
Sounds like a skill issue.
It is. It is, that's my point.
But yeah, I think he also usually carries around a toothbrush. Why?
Well,
I don't know.
It's good for brushing. You have to fill Luna's gin glass. Let's look at the sleepers. Get good. Oh, we've still got to fight Millennia yet.
Mm.
Oh no, the mushroom birthed alien babies. That's bad. I don't like that. Chibi.
What?
You said that at some point. I like how a good, 20% of these quotes aren't me. Spices things
I
up.
mean, it adds to it, you know?
Yeah. It builds out a full world.
Of us doing random shit.
Have I figured out how to fight her yet with my current build? Yes, hit her with the big trumpet. Not get hit yourself. Orb. Orb.
I mean, yes, that is usually how these games go. Hit
Yes.
thing, don't let thing hit you.
There's at least one part in phase 2 where I can use bubbles. So. And maybe literally only then. Although I might be able to cheese phase 1 with it. We'll see. We'll see. Which is a shame because that's the sort of phase I like. Well, with one exception. Glass is refilled and she's happy again. Yeah. She is happy
What was
again.
I drawing again?
Shoe Knight.
Right. Shoe Knight.
Shoe Knight. Also, I do like how we said pal and just immediately toddler pal.
Of course. Toddler Pal is mine, okay?
Bubbles and Cheese was your nickname in high school. You could have shortened it to Swiss.
And then hope people understand the layers of joke there.
Nah, that's not how nicknames work. You're just called Swiss now. Sounds vaguely cool in a 70s detective kind of way. Mrs. laughing in chat, and I cannot for the life of me remember what was said. Would make that happen.
Something about cheese, I think.
Cheese, that came after.
That I don't know.
Well, the Miss might have soothsaying abilities, I don't know. Oh, right. Chibi drew all this pause and asked what they were meant to be drawing.
I forgot,
So what am I
okay.
drawing?
I don't fucking know.
Shoe Knight.
I don't know why I'm here.
Shoe Knight. You're here because
Now
we
the
enjoy
question
your
is
company.
the sword also another shoe?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide that.
You wield a stiletto, exactly.
They've converted some shoelaces into bracelets.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if their weapon is
Why are we here?
a shoe.
Just to suffer.
Maybe.
Yes. That's the answer to your question, Doug.
What about we do a Metal Gear noodle and cheese?
Every night, I feel my arm and my leg.
What about that?
Well, yeah.
Just a sock.
Why are we here? Just a sock.
Just a sock.
Sock 'em bop 'em.
Getting a lot of good chibi quotes. There's gonna be erotica in your games. At least do it well, you know.
I am correct.
Oh, that was in reference to the old God of Wars, wasn't
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because like the Aphrodite scene was like very lackluster. I think that was it.
it?
Rogue.
There's a frog in a shoe on a t-shirt.
God, this is reminding me of God, I don't even remember the name of it. And I don't even know if it was something that was ever across the sea or if it was just a US thing, but there was a little kid franchise thing for kids where it's like a big city thing and you've got all of these various animals riding around in silly cars. Including one of the animals being a worm who just had one shoe, who usually
Oh.
drove around in an Apple car.
Cute. Hang on,
I do think there was at least one shoe car. But also, it's been a hot minute, and I might just be conflating the worm with the single shoe at the end of its tail and just the cars that they're driving around in. Oh no. I'm slightly terrified.
and there's actually a rabbit with a tiny shoe.
Got a little doll shoe. Put it on his head.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was looking at. I found a internet factoid about a children's TV show that I remember, which was Bananas in Pajamas. If anyone remembers that, I believe it was Australian, but you know, things travel. Anyway, it's just about two anthropomorphic bananas. And it turns out that two of the actors who played the two titular bananas were a gay couple. So the bananas, canonically, they gay.
They've come out of the closet and come down the stairs.
Yeah. Sir Pell and Sir Ribbert.
Yeah. Sir Pal
There
and
they are.
Sir Ribbit.
Sir Ribbit, yeah. Sir Ribbit is his full name, yeah, so Sir Ribbit.
Sir Ribbit. He's very cute.
I'm glad.
I also love how it's like, I have my deadly weapon, the sock. Meanwhile, on the other hand, are just these sharp claws.
Yeah. Listen, the claws are a feature, okay?
They're a handshake.
You don't think about that. And yes, Busy World of Richard Scarry. There we go. That's it.
Ooh. All the Pal socks have holes in the toes. I know how these feel.
Our special goblin socks.
You gotta have them tailor made to fantasy feet.
Yeah, exactly.
That Or they've got some really intense nail clippers.
And no, probably tailor-made socks.
Yeah. Easier to get just good socks. I was thinking Rag would buy them good socks.
Yeah.
Fantasy Feet is probably a website. Oh, it's an entire corner of DeviantArt, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, I said in honor of Metal Gear Solid. The sock.
Classic.
It's a classic. I had to.
It's he's cute. Yeah. What is Ragdoll's? They are a shoe knight.
Mm-hmm.
Vampire Beholder.
Jesus Christ.
Vampire Beholder. Oh,
There
wow.
you go.
Yes, beholders well known for their mouths.
Well known for their mouths and ease of drawing.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Now they didn't have to be like classic vampire. They could be vampiric through sight. In some form.
Well, I was
I
sort of
see the blood
thinking.
all right out of you.
I was sort of thinking because it's just a picture. It's not like It's not like I'm going to do a whole scene showing off their vampirism. So I was just thinking of giving them the high collar.
Classic.
Stop giving beholders yet more eye powers.
But why not? Why can't they have more eye powers? One for each eye.
The only thing that changes is that now they know your blood type. Just by looking at you.
Yeah, they're very helpful in emergency rooms.
That's interesting. I don't know mine, so that's kind of handy. Oh,
They already have that.
apparently they already have that.
They already know my blood type.
Interesting.
It
Apparently
feels
you
like a very specific power.
apparently your original prompt was vampire romantic, but that got respun to make something interesting. Also because 90% of vampires are romantic.
Yeah.
Once you take out the Nosferatus, well, even then.
I mean, at that point, I'm just picking some trashy vampire romance novel off the bookshelf and drawing the main love interest from that.
Wait, is that what you're doing now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they already know my blood type specifically.
Specifically
But I'm
Chib's blood type.
It's a really specific power.
Yeah. Go back and read the original, Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's just there. Chibi's blood type is.
It's included in every vampire novel. I don't know how.
People keep trying to make sure it doesn't go in the novel, and it just turns up.
They explicitly don't write it in, and yet when they publish it, it's right there.
Weirdest creepypasta ever.
I love the idea because I had a period where I was just reading all of the SCPs in order. I got about 600, and they're always very specifically, this thing will do horrible things to the human body. And I just every now and then it's just nice that the idea of okay, these things are very abstract. You could just have it's this novel, and every time it gets published, just the word fish appears in the middle of the book, despite the fact that nobody put it there. Yeah, that could be an SCP. I like the idea of just stuff like that.
I mean,
they
there is
don't have to all be, like monsters and stuff. They can just be like weird little things.
Yeah, I like the
there
weird
is at
little
least
things.
one SCP where it's like, cool, you're now in a. Everyone is now talking like they're in a
Oh yeah,
detective, hard-boiled detective novel.
I like the ones that play with the format. That's always fun.
Mhm. Ever since we did like the SAP drunk thing, I've been cursed with just like every time I now think of SCP, I immediately think of like the spam genie. The freaking image just burned into my mind.
Yeah, spam genie.
Because it's objectively the best one.
Yeah, with the fucking picture.
Have you got the picture saved?
I don't. I should.
Oh.
It's still like every time I look it up, it's funnier than I remember.
Spam genie.
It's the spam genie.
So that's what I'm talking about. That's SCP at its height.
Yeah, the ones where you're just kind of like, we don't really know what's going on, and it's not like actively trying to harm anything, but also it's just a weird little guy. Those are pretty funny. Like the other one I remember from that uh challenge that came up was the guy where it's like, well, there's nothing special about him, but apparently some minor god is like forwarding all of their prayers and like offerings up to this gentleman. So random offerings just keep appearing around him. So it's like he's not doing anything, but we should probably like keep an eye on him. And it is literally some god who just doesn't want to deal with their followers, so they just keep forwarding all of the prayers to this guy.
Oh.
Oh, I've just remembered another one. I can't remember which one it is, but it's a guy who has like has been transported into a different dimension, so a different like physical. You can't sort of touch or sort of feel him, but you can see and hear him. But he can't see or hear anyone else. So he's basically just a ghost who can't see anyone else, but he's just getting in the way of everything, not
Oh, no.
realizing he is.
That honestly sounds awful.
He's just wandering around the SCP site, just getting in the way of things. No idea that there are people around. No one can do anything about it because he can't touch it.
Amazing.
The Cthulhu SCP wants to chill and play video games, but the cultists keep trying to rescue him. Oh, that's fun. Ooh. Vampire beholders apparently are a thing, and they're awful.
Yeah. What's the big teeth horn is awful.
Yeah, that's a choice.
I also don't like that sometimes it's in their mouth. Sometimes it's in their like gums. Sometimes it's on top of them. So I don't know whether it's a teeth or a horn.
something a face only a mother could love.
Mothers are going to struggle with this one, I think.
I think so too, honestly.
I'm trying to think of some other stupid SCPs. I did once have a list. As I was going through them, I made a list of like, these are the ones I like. But that was a very long time ago, so I've lost that now. But trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, look at the original Beholder. They are done with this already.
Absolutely. They're not a threat, they just want to go home.
And why did you make me? Why did you draw me?
Really? I'm gonna do this.
I love old fantasy art.
It's great.
Iconic.
It's beautiful.
That's also in the October list, by the way. 70s fantasy art. No idea how that's going to work. But this one seems to be having a good time.
Yay.
Hello.
Yeah.
I can see
Hey,
your
they're at
blood
a
is very
costume
tasty.
Okay. Now I gotta figure out the wiggly bits.
The most important part of the beholder, the wiggly bits. Now I'm imagining like a kind of cult children's show. It's like, okay, you've drawn the eye on the orange. Now if you get your pipe cleaners, you're just making a beholder. Like a Cthulhu cult. And here's how you can make a statue devoted to Dagon, our Lord and Saviour, out of papier-mâché.
There actually was a TV show where the premise was you know those like home craft type things where it's like, and now we're going to make this thing. Except the person doing it is like very Adam's Family-esque type situation where it's like, oh, you have one of your little friends here is literally a revived raccoon. Like you did necromancy and on a raccoon, and that is one of your little helper friends.
Ah, sounds great.
And also, your boyfriend might be a serial killer.
And today, children, we will learn the art of... I forgot what it's called. What was the thing where you stuff an animal?
Taxidermy?
Taxidermy! I had vivisection stuck in my head for some reason.
Yeah, that's sort of the opposite. Vivisection, you're taking things out.
Yeah. I mean, vivisection would have worked as a punchline, but it's just not the word I was looking for. Look, I think it's only fair that we cap off my extraordinary run of amazing jokes in this stream with a real top-notch heavy hitter like that one.
You've been doing great.
I'm on form. Thank you. That form is a cease and desist. I do love how most of the default sounds are sarcastic responses to jokes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the crickets, the horn, the golf clap, the badum.
Yeah, and then a duck.
And then a duck.
Anything this court needs. A duck and 5 ways to be disappointed in your friend.
Are the jokes in the room with us?
The
No,
meme thing.
they got to the other side.
The meme thing?
It's a meta joke. Meme?
I don't know.
The meme
Doc
thing.
tells me to do the meme thing. I don't know the meme thing.
Spamming quacks? We shouldn't do that on stream.
No.
Can this beholder turn into a cloud of bats? They can turn into one bat, one big bat, and lots of little bats.
And each one has exactly one eyeball.
Even with it, what?
Do I know that meme?
What?
I probably know that meme. I just...
No, don't jump in for duck spam. Oh, okay. So I was mixing up two conversations. I thought there was a meme involving the sounds on the soundboard,
Oh.
Quack.
which is not the case. Quack. And for good luck. Yeah, I also added more sounds for sarcastic joke responses.
Yeah, that was your mistake.
You saw baby ducks today. Little ducklinglings.
Oh, duckies.
I'm glad you survived the experience.
Gee.
He's cute.
You know, it will have some eyeballs coming out bottom too.
Speaking of diminutives, Chib.
What?
Random aside, there's like the abstract components of an insult here, of like, if you diminutize words in Dutch, you usually put je at the end.
Yeah.
But je is also just the word for you. So are you a little nothing? Like you can turn that into a Dutch insult, right?
I I don't I don't know how you would go about making that an insult.
I feel like it should be possible. Thank you,
You're
miss.
welcome to try.
The problem is it requires a little bit of etymological explanation to start. So
Yeah, I think that like kills any
yeah.
insult you would make after that. Yes. Oh.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
No, I don't know that one.
I have seen that one, but I've mostly seen it on Twitter, mostly used to mock people who are sort of making up a thing to be upset about.
Oh, I see. So like the entirety of Twitter, right?
Yeah. Well, you say Twitter. Do you mean X? Because they're changing.
What?
They're getting rid of the bird.
What do you mean they're getting rid of the bird?
Elon's really bad at business.
Wait, what? Oh, is that with an X?
He just wants to replace it with an X.
As in, close this site right now.
That is yes. There is no better response to that.
Well, it's going to be an X app soon.
Yeah,
at this
it's gonna
rate.
be. Yeah, it just sets itself up for jokes. It's amazing. This is an X app.
Okay, yeah, that, yeah.
I mean, I've already basically stopped checking it. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to call that site a day.
I've got a couple of artists who do more not safe for work art that they post on there because it's hard to get it onto anything else that I
Yeah.
still follow. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, no.
That's fair.
Fuck this.
I'll go back occasionally and look at stuff. But I follow
Yeah,
everyone I
mm.
follow on there elsewhere. So
Like, why would you get, like, rid of, like, the most defining, like, the logo is so defining for Twitter. Like, the name is a thing on the bird,
yeah,
and just and with an X.
he's got a
Why
thing
the
about
X?
X. He's got a thing about X. Like it's got SpaceX, and apparently he wanted to call PayPal X, and they said no, that's a stupid
It's because
name.
he's still obsessed with his ex.
Yeah, true. Zoned out scooping ice cream is a good thing to zone out with, really. Better than listening to this
No
conversation.
Twitter bird. No, apparently the Twitter bird is getting replaced with an X. You know?
There's a lot of X's, like an ex-child. He's better off without him.
That's... God, that's... It's funny, but also, like, how are you so bad? Like...
He thought it was a very simple thing to do to make it real good, and every idea he had was bad, and he fired everyone who said no.
I mean, that's basically it. Like, he thinks he's smarter than he is, and he either puts himself into positions where no one will tell him no, or he creates those spaces so that no one can tell him no.
Yeah. I think, like,
And
Elon
also,
Musk
he's trying to
needs to
sue
be
lawyers.
assigned a court jester. I think that's the logical step that we should take as a society. Once you get a certain amount of money, you get assigned a court jester. You can't fire them.
Yeah.
They're gonna make relentlessly fun of anything you do that's stupid as fuck.
I'm up for that. These beholder eyes remind you of the moss from the labyrinth? That sounds awful. This labyrinth film sounds real
Yeah,
weird.
actually, I can see what you mean, miss. There's some moss in the labyrinth. So the majority of the stuff in the labyrinth, like, is puppetry. Up to and including some things in, like, the background. So you've got some scenes where it's like, oh, we've got this moss on the wall, but also it has eyeballs.
I think didn't Musk like pull out of that
Probably.
Because
Because he remembered he has
I
no...
don't know for sure, but I saw people on Tumblr making fun of the fact that he pulled out because his mommy said so. So, you know, I took it for a fact, because why wouldn't I?
Eh.
His mommy told him to stop it. Cool, so they were right. Yeah, that's about what I expected.
Oh dear.
We're not even getting to see, like, Zuckerberg, like, fuck up Musk. Which is what I assumed would have happened.
Can't have anything nowadays, can you?
Yeah,
Just when
that
we
would have
thought
been
we had
cool.
something nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice deathmatch.
Yeah. Deathmatch between Zuckerberg and Musk. We just need it as a society, you know?
It's called
Yeah,
a
it's a
deathmatch because
win.
they...
It's a win either way, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
It's a deathmatch because everybody involved dies.
Exactly. My brain immediately went to it's a deathmatch because everyone dies. It's because they at the end of the fight they drop just like a comically large anvil onto the just like my brain was like, let's throw some Looney Tunes bullshit in there.
And Mark Zuckerberg is the winner. He's cheering with the crowd, and here comes the anvil.
You know, hilariously, with the piano thing, there aren't really any recorded instances of someone dying from a piano dropping on their head. But there are recorded instances of pianos dropping on the ground, making a hole, getting pulled out of the hole, and then someone dying because they fell into the hole. Or at least getting injured because I fell into the hole.
I mean, if you drop a piano down into a hole, you get A flat minor. That's an old joke.
Miss
Yeah,
gave us bubble burp for our last drunk if we want to.
Do we want to do bubble bob? Bubble bob.
Why not? We might as well. In
A nice
honor
palate
of
cleanser from the beholder.
Yeah. Need a layer. That I'm trying to draw with the eraser. I know what I'm doing.
You know, Dark, I don't know, but also I've not checked. But also that's not usually something that you'd see people lifting up, because part of the reason with the falling pianos, which like I said, we do have cases of pianos just falling and breaking things, just not necessarily people. Is because once upon a time, like the only way you could get large furniture into higher up rises is to just take out part of the outside wall, lift it with a crane, move it in that hole you just made, and then close up the hole. Because you're not getting it up the stairs. And not a whole lot of people living in apartments going, you know what I need in my apartment? An anvil.
Oh, why not?
One guy in 1911. Okay, now my question is, why was the anvil in the sky? Like, is this a case of, like, we were lifting it up and accidentally dropped it, or did someone do an unfortunate explosion?
I mean, I think it was on this guy, not in him.
I am going to judge every single circle you're drawing, Crimp.
You're welcome to. Unfortunately, these are not circles. There's a strong wind happening here, so they're all wobbling.
Let's see. I got a bubble bird.
Silence. Focus.
We need to focus on the bubble burp.
Oh yeah, final drawing last time was a chicken. This time is a bird. To be fair, I am going for chickens, so it's difficult to tell.
Mine got a little bit chicken.
Mine appears to have a mullet, which is not intentional.
Sometimes mullets just happen, as unfortunate as that may be.
Masterful art is happening, presumably somewhere.
Absolutely masterful.
For some level of mastery and some level of art.
Well, Cheap seems to be enjoying themselves.
I'm making silly verbs.
silly things on this stream. How dare you? Yes, this is art. We're
Yeah, and
here
it's silly.
for perfectionism and nothing less. I was about to say nothing more. It was quite difficult to do more than perfect, but...
I need to move this mouse. No, that doesn't work. Is that well, Cheeb is at least amused by what they're doing, so.
I am anticipant.
Yeah, I'm done.
I am probably done. I'm as done as I probably should be.
I'm probably also done. I'm mostly trying to fiddle to make this look. Like, eye placement is always so hard when you're dealing with something that just can't exist.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Let's do some zooms.
Zooming out.
Zooms. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So we've got different levels of bird and bubble going on here.
Yeah.
We have a bird shape made out of bubbles, like some sort of weird balloon animal. We have a bird that is part bubble, with birds inside of it. And we have a bird that is blowing bubbles.
Can you imagine when I started giggling?
Oh, let me guess.
I like the faces you've given to the three little victims there.
Normally, when I make thumbnails for these streams, I pick like a picture we've all done, and I put them roughly the same size on the thumbnail. I might just do this.
Yeah.
These strong Rayman vibes there. Well, there we go. Time for things. Yeah, a lot of
It's going to
shading
be a
today.
very purple screen. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, you can still
Very
see everything
purple,
else.
except for that one bit of dark green there from the apple.
So many things. This was This was headache inducing. We're glad, miss. Thank you for the words.
Yeah, thank you for the words.
You're for weed. We will be back. Well, no, hang on. I will be back on Tuesday with more bubbles.
Tuesday. Bubble.
Bubbles. I will be not terrorizing small Jimkins with bubbles.
Oh.
Ooh. A cause of anvil death. What? Death? Anvil death? Yes. Someone actually dropped an anvil on someone. Wow.
Okay. Jeez.
It's slightly less
What the
cartoony when you
fuck,
think
you
of it
hated that
actually
guy?
happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's almost impressive because anvils are not light.
No.
No.
Famously. Pretty
I feel
hefty
like there's a
things.
lot of easier ways to kill someone if you hate them that bad. Like, you want to kill someone with an anvil at that point,
Also, unlike other metal objects, anvils are solid all the way through. Also, usually they're like screwed down.
Well, typically. You definitely can't get away with, like, claiming, oh, this wasn't premeditated. What do you mean it wasn't premeditated? You've lifted an anvil up 3 stories. Oh, spur of the moment, when you've just got an anvil lying around. Anyway, if anyone ever wants to do that when Elon Musk's around, you have my permission. Oh, it's a chicken time. I miss chicken time. Oh.
Practice of firing anvil into the air with gunpowder as a celebration for some reason. That's killed a few.
That's their fault.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. People
Yeah.
love throwing shit.
People like doing stuff for celebrations that are really stupid. I mean, do bloody cheese rolling. Like, there's a thing in Britain, one village has like a really steep hill and they just roll a cheese down the hill and whoever gets to the cheese first gets to keep it. And people just die doing that. It's a very steep, very tall hill.
I mean,
It's cheese, people.
I don't know if it's killed someone, but I know we have a national fryer throwing competition.
That's not where I thought that sentence was going.
No. That's
Why would you throw an air fryer?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it includes in the name. It belongs there. Humans are weird. The Dutch are okay. I've just explained cheese rolling. We can't talk.
Yeah.
You just have a real bitter hatred for air fryers.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, at least with the throwing trees thing, I can sort of see how that would be a build up over time.
Oh yeah.
Because basically that's just a like you go back far enough, people are doing logging more or less by hand because we haven't invented the machinery for it yet. And then as it's like you sort of build techniques for like, right, how do we literally throw the log around? And then once that's no longer a thing, it's like, well, let's still do this traditional thing we don't need anymore by throwing logs around. But air fryers are new.
Yeah. It's the first NK, so like Nederlands kampioenschap, so Dutch like championship air fryer throwing was in 2021. And the person organized it, or the people organized it because they hate air fryers that much.
They sell barbecues.
No, they because they say like fries are supposed, or like chips or chips for you guys, like fries are supposed to be like fat, so they're supposed to be like made in like a real like fryer. Like
No one is
fries
making
fry.
you use the air fryer.
No.
That's not a thing. It's an oven.
Thing is,
Air
like,
fryers are just small ovens with a fan in them. You can do the same thing in your own oven at home. I do that all the time because I don't want to mess with oil. I just toss some fries on a little sheet on a little grate so that the airflow can get underneath it. Pop it in the oven.
I'll be honest,
Fries.
I make all of my chips in the oven like that. So, but
like,
yeah,
that's all the air fryer's doing.
The thing is, the issue I have here is, okay, some weird people don't like air fryers and they organised a competition to throw it around. Whatever, don't mind. It's the national thing that's getting me. Like, this spread. This can't be isolated to those people anymore.
I mean, like, it's not a big championship as far as I'm aware. It's like, it was pretty small, but
I mean, I guess it's national, not international, but still.
I mean, I should hope so, because, like, it's not like those things are cheap. And don't get me wrong,
They are afterwards.
Lewis, I have nothing against air fryers. They're very neat little machines, but, like, people who get upset about air fryers, it's like, it's an oven. It's an oven with a fan in it. You have one in your house.
also for extra context, it was organized by someone who sells fries for a living.
Okay.
It made more sense if it was somebody. It made more sense if it was somebody who sold air fryers for a living, because they're going to get for a few. We want International Yeet and Air Fryer Day. You're the part of the problem, Duck.
Listen, you're welcome to organize it as well, I think.
And I also want you to know that I pointed violently at the chat when I said that.
It's a waste of fucking plastic.
That's
We've
right,
got enough
Ruth.
junk as it is. Don't make more.
Yeah. Well, we learned something today.
We learned something today.
Yeah, someone really is.
I mean, I also cannot find any articles that aren't about the first one in 2021, so I don't know if it's happened since then.
Today we learned that when Jeeb dies, they will haunt us with honking sounds and throw our air fryer around like a poltergeist.
I won't do that. I have nothing against air fryers.
You just come to arrive at a seance and say, hey, I want to speak to my friend. I brought the air fryer. Oh, dear.
Did it have significance to them? Yes, they hated them.
If they're here, you'll find out soon enough.
It's just the idea of going to like a seance and like, have you brought anything that, you know, are connected to your deceased friend, and you bring an air fryer and a clown nose.
This should tell you all you need to know.
It tells me that your friend was a lunatic.
See, I'm tempted to do that just to see what would happen. How would they run with that?
Show up.
Yeah, it's the 3 checkout items thing, except it's the 3 items you bring to a seance.
Yeah. Good times. Yes. So with and on that incredibly sensible note, we'll bid you adieu. Have a lovely week, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.